Hi guys, Frugal Moogle here with a new video. So today we're going to talk about saving lots of money on home insurance. So I'm going to run through some top tips on what to do and what not to do when looking to renew insurance. So the first thing to say is never auto-renew. So at a time, in most cases, you're going to be able to shop around, get the best deals, and in some cases, not only get the best deals, but also get cash back as well. This is something I've done today off my own back. I've had a look at some comparison websites, got some quotes, gone on top cashback, had a look at cashback, got quotes with the companies directly, worked out which is the best for me, and then saved myself today probably just over £100 in total. So before getting a quote and looking at renewing your insurance, there are a couple of things that you're going to need to do before being able to do this properly. First thing is you need to know the rebuild value of your property. Now, the rebuild value of the property in essence is if the house falls down, how much would it cost to recreate the property? So if you need to know this or you don't know already, there are two ways you can get this. The easiest way of doing it is speaking to your lender at the moment if you've got a mortgage. So speak to your lender and ask them for the rebuild value. This is something that should have a record and normally will be carried out when your house is inspected before purchasing the property when they have a evaluation done. If you haven't got a mortgage on the house at all, what you can do is go onto a website. I'll put a link in the description below. Put into information regarding the house, like when it was built, what materials it was built with, things like that. And that will give you a guide, a rough idea. But it's quite important to get the rebuild value as accurate as possible because what a lot of companies do is use blanket policies. And what I mean by this is have a minimum. So for example, I was with Royal Sun Alliance through the Yorkshire Building Society and their blanket policy is £400,000. Now my house isn't going to cost £400,000 to rebuild, and that's why my insurance was pretty high. You find a lot of insurances do have blanket policies though. Some are as small as £200,000. Some of them go all the way up to £500,000 or more. So depending on the property value, you're probably going to find that if your house is worth, let's say between £60,000 to £200,000, £500,000 is probably going to be, way too much. But some sites don't let you put rebuild value in there, and some sites have got a minimum, blanket policy. So that's just something to bear in mind when getting your quote. So the second thing that you're going to need is your renewal documents. Now the reason you're going to need this is because if you're happy with the way the insurance is set out, you're happy with the type of cover you've already got, and you want to get like for like insurance, it's handy to have it to hand. It's going to let you know first of all when your insurance is due to renew. And it's important to ensure that when you get your quotes, that you use the accurate information because you want to make sure that your old insurance ends and your new insurance ends on the same day to ensure there are no periods of time where your house isn't insured, just in case worst case scenario. So that's important to have that to hand. You also want it to have it at hand for a few other reasons. First of all, you want to know what your new insurance premiums would be if you do decide to stay with the insurance company for comparisons against your quotes that you're going to get. And then the second thing you want to look at is things like what's the current excess, what are the does it cover you for things like accidental damage, does it include you for personal damage, insurance, things like legal expenses, etc. And just making sure that when you look at the quotes you're getting, if you are wanting to compare them against the one that you've already got, when you go through the quote screens, you're making sure you get them for like as possible. Otherwise it could be that you get a quote and think fantastic, this is a lot cheaper, but actually it doesn't cover you for the things that you had in your original insurance. Another thing to bear in mind as well is when looking at your original insurance documents, making sure, is this still relevant? Is this cover sufficient still? So for example, on my current insurance documents, the contents cover minimum was £50,000, which for me is probably a little excessive, but again, a lot of companies use blanket policy figures. When you get your quote, think about, is that amount right for me? Is it too much or is it not enough? You need to be as accurate as possible when getting new quotes to ensure the quotes are accurate because, heaven forbid if something happens to the property, you need to make sure you're covered for at least the amount of money you need to be covered for. And it's tricky to do, when they ask you things like, well, how much are the contents of the house worth? That's something that's very, very difficult to work out. A lot of sites will give you like the UK average, which is a good ballpark figure. And also what they might do as well is say to you, do you have anything worth over £1,500? Because if you do, 9 times out of 10 what they'll ask you to do is insure the item separately with them. And it may be that they need to know what is the item, they may need proof of purchase, things like this. This might be things you've got like, I don't know, like an engagement ring, or just something you've got that's a very, very expensive piece of equipment. In most cases though, unless you've got jewellery, things like that, you may find you've actually got nothing in the house worth over £1,500. So again, it's just making sure when you get your quotes they're as like for like as possible, but only make sure they're like for like if the current insurance policy you've got in place at the moment still fits your needs. If it doesn't fit your needs, then make sure that the quotes you're getting do fit your needs. And it's worth looking as well at the original insurer, and if their insurance quote is excessive, give them a call as well before getting the quotes and saying, look, my needs have changed, can we get a revaluation or requote, just in case they're actually going to come up a lot cheaper than the ones you're going to look at on the comparison websites. And the reason I say this is just because when you use the comparison websites, they're probably going to look at a broad spectrum of insurance companies, but they may not look at the insurance company you're currently with. So it's just something to bear in mind that although comparison websites cover the bigger insurance companies, if you're using someone at the moment that's quite unique or maybe quite a small company, they're probably not going to come up on the comparison websites. And if you're happy with them and you want to stay with them, it's worth giving them a call first of all and saying, look, you give me a quote, it's a little bit expensive, I can get it cheap somewhere else, and saying, look, can I get this cheaper from you? And you may actually be quite surprised. You may find that, yep, they can actually do you a better deal, and they may ask you some questions. Make sure your circumstances haven't changed, such as your employment, the cost of the house, the mortgage, the value of the property, things like this, because all these things do factor in and make a big difference when it comes to getting your insurance quotes accurate and right first time. Okay guys, so I'm going to talk through now the procedure I went through today in terms of step-by-step guides for getting the insurance quotes, comparing them against the top cashback websites and the renewal policy, and then working out roughly the savings over the long run. So first thing I did was look at the insurance policy that came through the door. So with most renewals, you'll probably find that you're going to get your renewal quote through the door at least a month before insurance renewal, and this is something they've got to do. They can't just auto-renew your insurance. So in most cases, you'll get something through the door between 4 and 6 weeks before renewal. And this gives you plenty of time to shop around, bearing in mind that any quotes you get from comparison websites and insurance company websites, they're normally valid for at least 30 days, so it does give you plenty of time to shop around. I shopped around probably a couple of weeks ago. I found the quotes to be fairly cheap, and then did it today again and found the quotes to be around the same. You're probably going to find that with a lot of quotes for insurance companies, if things stay the same in terms of the variables, so like the rebuild value, things like that, the fluctuation's quite small, so left it till today, about a week before renewal. Happy with the quote I've got today and saved myself over £120 today. So the first thing I did was look at the current renewal, coming in at £23.64 a month. I thought to myself initially, this isn't actually that bad, but when looking at the comparison websites and the cashback websites, I was shocked to find I could actually get the insurance today for as little as about £12.96 a month, saving me, nearly half the cost of the current insurance premiums. So what I did was I spoke to Royal Sun Alliance, and they weren't able to do anything about the quote. That was the best they could do. I gave a staff discount. I worked for the lender, and shockingly, had I not have the staff discount, the premiums for the year would have actually been £443.27 for the year, which would actually worked out to be nearly £37 a month. So Royal Sun Alliance, probably not the cheaper insurance to use, and again, even with staff discount, I can get it even cheaper than this. So I went on Compare the Market, put in the information I needed. Luckily with Compare the Market, it will ask you for the rebuild value, and it also gives you a little bit of guidance over contents, because contents covers tricky to work out, as I said in the previous part of the video. It's something they give you a ballpark figure, and we, added it up myself. Looked at high-end items, so PCs, fridge, freezers, ovens, alarms, things like that, and yeah, happy with the figure they gave me as a rough idea. Again, made sure that the insurance I was getting quotes for was accurate, and again, it's very, very important to ensure the information is as accurate as possible. Got some quotes, as you can see on the screen. Looked at the 4 insurances, the top 4, on an annual and a monthly basis, and thought to myself, don't really know the first insurance company, and insurance to me is quite important in case I need to claim for it, so I'll have a look at the other insurers. Now, Admiral and Legal & General are on there, and I've had some bad experiences with Legal & General, so I thought I'll have a look at the AA. Now, luckily AA were very, very cheap. So again, went onto the AA's website. They have got a blanket policy, which was a little bit higher than the rebuild value, but Royal Sun Alliance's blanket policy is, I believe, £400,000, whereas AA's blanket policy was about £200,000. So again, it's already going to be a lot cheaper. So put my information in there and got back some figures. So AA on the comparison website came back for the year £129.63, and monthly came back £146.72 in comparison to the insurance renewal quote. So I looked at top cashback, and lo and behold, AA were on there, which is fantastic. So if I take out the insurance through the top cashback website directly with AA, although the quote's a little bit higher because I'm going to get the cashback at the end of it, it's going to work out slightly cheaper. So a year annually with cashback will work out at £123.45 for the year, which works out around £12 a month. So a saving of nearly £12 a month compared to the renewal offer by Royalton Alliance. Monthly came out £146.72 for the year through the comparison website, and £145.07 if I get cashback. So a saving between the two of about £1, which isn't great, but I'd always suggest, if affordable, pay for your insurance up front in a yearly fee, like car insurance. Works out cheaper. So I've paid for it today, and I paid for it £123.45. All being well, if I get the cashback, again works out about £12 a month. So for the annual cost cover between the cashback, as long as I get it, and the renewal premiums through Royalton Alliance, I've saved, I believe, just over £160. So yeah, it's taken me half an hour in total to do this. But by, shopping around, making sure you're somebody credible, having accurate information to hand before getting the quotes, and then making sure you look at things on top cashback, such as how reliable do they pay out quickly, have there been any issues, have people complained about them, things like this. I'm quite confident I'm going to get paid out. I mean, one of the things to bear in mind is that I got the quote about, say, 15 minutes ago, and within less than 5 minutes, Top Cashback could confirm to me they've had the trackable update from EA to say I have to count the insurance. So obviously there'll be a cooling off period, as there is for all things like insurance and purchases, but I'm quite confident EA will come through and I'll get the cashback that's displayed on screen. So a few things to bear in mind before the video wraps up. Make sure with insurances that you're going to look at somebody credible. Don't go with somebody just because they're the cheapest. Do a little bit of research. Another thing to bear in mind as well is that whenever you take out new insurance, please ensure you inform the old insurance company that you've found somebody cheaper and that their policy will come to an end. If you don't do this, what a lot of insurance companies will do is make the assumption you're going to renew with them, and what you may find out is you end up being double insured. If that happens, worst case scenario, speak to the insurance companies and they'll sort it out between them, and you'll get a renewal, you'll get a policy a refund normally, but it can be time consuming and tricky. So again, use somebody credible, cancel your insurance, or at least let them know that, as of the renewal date on their insurance policy, you need this policy to come to an end because you've got insurance with somebody else. And if possible, guys, pay annually if possible, because it's going to be cheaper than paying monthly. Not massively, but if you look at it again, I'm paying £123.45 for the year. Monthly it'd be £145.07. So it's a saving of about £22. It's not a massive saving, but that £22 could be put towards something you want to buy, or it could go in your savings and earn you some money. So any questions, guys, at all, please feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. I'm not an expert when it comes to insurance, but I think by applying a little bit of common sense, a little bit of patience, shopping around, checking out, various sites, comparison websites and Top Cashback, or even other sites like Quidco, what you're going to find is that in most cases you are going to save money. Yeah, it might not be as big a saving as the one I've made today, but every little bit helps, right? So, as always, guys, stay frugal. Please like, subscribe, and comment on my videos, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. As always, appreciated. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and as you can see in the outro link, the last 2 videos will always be shown there, so be sure to check those out if you haven't already done so. And as always, guys, please remember, stay frugal, and I'll see you on the next video.